Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. And I just have to say, this has been, I was not really looking forward to this, but this has been a lot of fun. I'm proud to be from Mesa, Arizona. I'm proud of what a nice event we put on for the new mayor. And it just happens to be me, but regardless of who it was, I would be proud to be here because I love the feel of a Mesa City event. I think it's really great, and I appreciate everyone that has come together to make this such a nice event, those with the music and otherwise. I am grateful for the distinguished people that are here that have been previously introduced. I need to introduce a few distinguished people as well, and that would be my family. I'm very grateful that they're here tonight. And so if you don't mind, at the risk of embarrassing them, I'm going to ask them to stand. And you, I think, met my wife, Dawn, if you could stand, Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever seen anything that was attributed to John Giles that you found the least bit impressive, it was my wife that was doing that. She is the sharpest tool in the Giles family shed. Also with us is my oldest daughter, Allison, her husband, Spencer, their son, James, and daughter, Kate, my daughter, Amy, her husband, Thomas Asante, and Annie, their little girl, you can hear. She's a great pistol. Amanda, my number 3 daughter, and Robbie, her husband. I'm glad that my daughter Abby flew home from college today to be with us today. And then our caboose, Jack. At the risk of embarrassing them further, I'd like to share with you a short story about my last 2 children, Abby and Jack. Jack was born on a relatively cold Mesa, Arizona morning in the early hours of the morning at Banner Desert Hospital in December. And my job was to bundle up the 4 older sisters and take them to the hospital so that we could enjoy that experience with Don, who was also present for this occasion. After the experience of the birth, my job was to then get the kids ready for school, so of course, we stopped at McDonald's on the way home to get breakfast right across the street from the hospital. I was a little worried about Abby because for the last 8 years, she had been our youngest child, and in that role had enjoyed a tremendous amount of attention. And I was concerned that being displaced as the youngest child might cause some issues with Abby. So as we sat down to eat our delicious McDonald's breakfast, I said to Abby, "How are you doing, Abby? Are you going to be okay with the changes that are occurring in our family?" And with a rather thoughtful look on her face, she stared at me, or stared right over my shoulder, and she said, "Change is good." Well, I was, of course, extremely impressed that such a young girl could have such a mature attitude for her age, and I began to swell with pride and noticed that her eyes continued to be focused over my shoulder. And so I turned around and noticed for the first time the large sign in the McDonald's window that said, "Change is good. Try the new all-white meat chicken McNuggets." Well, ladies and gentlemen, change is good. It's an opportunity for us to focus our vision, to assess how we're doing, and to make plans to improve. So as part of that very healthy process, I hope you'll allow me to share with you my vision for the city that I love, Mesa. First, I need you to understand that I'm an old Mesa guy. I enjoy sitting around reminiscing about the small city that I grew up in. That city doesn't exist any longer, and that's okay. Change is good. And the Mesa that my children will inherit is very different from the one that we occupy today. That will be the one that we commit to building and planning right now. For that reason, it's important to me that we continue to improve as a community. I want us not to stay where we are now. I want us to step up to the next level as a community. Don't get me wrong, I love and appreciate the Mesa that we have now, but the vision that I have for Mesa is one that is on a higher level, one that is on the next Mesa, if you will. Making the jump from one level to another requires effort and focus on where we want to go. So in order to help me and those who work with me in this task focus our attention on that goal, throughout my term as mayor, you'll see this graphic associated with the mayor's office. This graphic is meant to inspire us to keep focused on the fact that we need to not be satisfied with where we are, but rather going from one Mesa to another and focusing on our goals as a community. Standing still or accepting average is not something that we can accept, and it's not what the people who voted for me and my fellow council members deserve. For example, if we were to apply this concept to the Falcon Field area, the Falcon Field, what kind of a Falcon Field do we want to have next? What's the next Falcon Field? If it's the same as the one that we have now, then shame on us. We can no longer accept as a status quo for that great part of our community the undeveloped prime real estate that should be home to corporate headquarters and large job centers. To that end, I support and appreciate the good work of the Falcon Field Visioning Committee that issued a report to the City Council last week. Also, if we were to apply the next Mesa concept to our downtown corridor, I can picture a Main Street corridor with restored historic buildings mixed with universities, the arts, job centers, restaurants, and residents hopping on and off the light rail. I can picture an updated Fiesta district that takes full advantage of its prime location next to freeways, a large thriving college and hospital, new employment centers, and improved housing. The now historic neighborhoods of my youth are being reborn. A couple of months ago, my siblings and I sold, not far from here, the home that we grew up in. It sold within a few days for more than the asking price to a young family that was excited for the opportunity to raise their children in that great neighborhood. That trend must continue. I can see those neighborhoods with mature tree-lined streets with large lots and healthy homes pushing away any sign of blight. The Riverview area reaching its potential as an economic engine. Continuing to apply that vision. It doesn't take really much vision at all to see the great potential and the great things that are going to happen in the Gateway area. But I have to tell you, that wasn't always the case. During my last service on the City Council, and I see Mr. Kavanaugh smiling, that part of town really had nothing more than potential and a 10,000-foot runway in the middle of nowhere. Now, thanks to wise planning and people thinking ahead and planning for the next Mesa, that part of town is literally the best place in the country to locate a business. It's also a very great place to live. I'm committed to doing all I can to preserve the momentum that's occurring in that part of a town so that we continue to add large, high-paying jobs to that area. Mesa has always been a unique family-oriented community, and we don't want to change that. We don't aspire to inherit all of the problems of a large American city, but the families here do need jobs, and those jobs need to be in the East Valley. Many of our city's challenges in terms of aesthetics and economics will be solved with additional employment opportunities. My role, or the mayor's role in addressing that concern, is to promote our city and the great opportunities that are found here, and also to make sure that the city delivers a great location for the businesses and families that choose to locate and stay here. Also, for Mesa to progress economically, the people and businesses here need to be at the front of the technology parade. It's important to me that we find a way to have inexpensive, high-speed wireless internet throughout our city sooner rather than later. Our city government, working with our utility partners, can make that happen. Also, it's essential that Mesa be known as a very business-friendly community. To that end, I think we can make responsible changes to the way we review plans and applications, including self-certification programs that will increase the speed and decrease the cost without compromising the quality or public safety of that operation. Taking Mesa to this next level will require the hard work of many, many people. At the risk of prolonging what has been a very long election already, I'd like to show you just a short campaign video that talks more about that topic. I've been running all my life. When I was younger, it was all about crossing the finish line alone, first and far ahead of the rest. It's different now. Training for a marathon or triathlon is hard work. You have to wake up early and put in the miles, and you have to be consistent. But if you do it with friends, it's a very different experience. You look forward to it. You don't want to let each other down, and the results are far better than if you tried to go it alone. That's the approach I would take as mayor. Teamwork. Because no single person is going to get Mesa where it needs to be next. That's something we'll have to do together. Thank you. Thanks to my good friend Brian Nissen for producing that great video. So the more people involved in taking Mesa to the next level, the better. To accomplish that, our city government needs to interact and communicate with the people of Mesa in easier to use and better ways. So to that end, we're going to place increased emphasis on social media. I invite everyone to follow the new Mesa Mayor Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. They will be updated frequently with valuable information and interesting photos. I have to tell you, I have a personal goal to, at some point, reach half as many likes as my teenage daughters do on these mediums. Also today, we're going to make a big launch. It's not the iPhone 6, that's tomorrow. Today's big launch is we will introduce, it's already live now, a new blog for the Mayor of Mesa called, guess what, Next Mesa. In the blog, we'll provide more information for the items that are addressed on the social media platforms, and then also talk more about the interesting people and places in the city of Mesa. So hopefully the combined results of this increased emphasis on social media along with a traditional media outreach will result in more information coming from the mayor's office, more information coming from city government, and take the information and the interaction with the citizens of Mesa to a new level or to another Mesa. Are you tired of hearing that yet? Hopefully not. I have to say that in closing, I feel very fortunate to work with a great city council. I have known each of these individuals for years and am excited at the prospect of joining their team. They, along with Mayor Smith and City Manager Chris Brady, have been extremely successful in bringing jobs and innovation to Mesa. It was me seeing their success that motivated me to want to join their team. And that's very exciting. So if you don't mind, I'd like to invite Mayor Smith and the City Council members and Mr. Brady to please stand for one more well-deserved round of applause. Thank you very much. Speaking of teammates, in addition to these great council members and city staff people, there are also many others in our community that are working to improve our city. I see an important role of the mayor to assist those organizations and those individuals that are involved in the same mission that I am in. And if you don't mind, I'd like to highlight just a few of those folks that are with us tonight. First, if you don't mind, let me introduce Mr. Bill Jabjiniak. Bill, I know you're here. Would you please stand? For those of you who don't know, Bill is the city's economic development director. Bill's job is to recruit and keep good, high-paying jobs and employers in the city of Mesa. That is my job as well. So I'm going to do everything that I can to help Bill Jabjiniak be successful in his job. Next, Mark Garcia. Mark, are you here? I know he is. Thanks, Mark, in the back. Mark is the president of Visit Mesa. Visit Mesa, and Mark's job description is to bring tourism dollars into the Mesa economy. Again, I see that as one of the mayor's responsibilities as well. So I'm going to do everything I can to be a cheerleader and a salesman for Mesa wherever I go, so that I can help Mark be successful in his job. Sally, are you present? I know you are. Sally Harrison, ladies and gentlemen. Sally is the president of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber's job is to try to make all the businesses in Mesa as successful as possible. My job as mayor is to help Sally be successful in her job. Finally, Dan Woolham. Dan? Dan is the president of the Mesa United Way. Dan's job is to draw on the resources of our community to assist the social service agencies in Mesa to address the needs of the less fortunate. I feel that that's the mayor's responsibility as well. So I've concluded, as you can see, that the mayor wears several hats and has the job of helping several different people to be successful in their jobs as well. So to help me and others focus on that job description, I've toyed with the idea of tweaking the business card for the mayor's office. And it would look something like this. For everyone that's here, would you please help me to help these important individuals be successful in the important jobs that they have for our community? I think we'll all be the better if that's our attitude. I owe a lot of people a lot of thanks for helping me to be here right now, and hopefully before the evening's over I'll be able to shake most of your hands and in person express that appreciation. But if I don't get that opportunity, I hope you know that I do sincerely appreciate all of your help. There are, however, two people that I really have to single out for some thanks tonight. So as the mayor of Mesa, and on behalf of a grateful community, I'd like to say thank you to Terry Benelli first. I first met Terry about a year ago and was immediately impressed with her level of knowledge and understanding of our great city. And at the time, during my first meeting with her, I was impressed with the notion that this person needs to be on the Mesa City Council. So I was delighted when Terry was selected to fill the District 2 seat. Terry, you have done a wonderful job. You've served very well. And I know that, as you always have, you'll continue to be a very strong personality and strength in the city of Mesa, and will continue to serve us well. So thank you very much. Job well done. Alex Finter is now former Mayor Alex Finter. I first met Alex on the playground of Whitman Elementary School, and we have been good friends ever since. And I have to tell you, Alex bears most of the blame for convincing me to take this job on. Over the last several months, Alex has been kind enough to invite me to go with him to meet with groups and individuals that had issues with the city that he thought would continue beyond his term as mayor. After more than one of those meetings, I have to tell you that I looked at Alex and said, "We have made a horrible mistake. You are really good at being the mayor. You should keep being the mayor." This was never more true than last week when I was with Alex and witnessed the stellar job that he did in leading our city's response to the floods that occurred. Alex has spent his entire professional life serving the citizens of Mesa. He brought to the mayor's office that experience along with 2 terms as a city council member. We could not have been in better hands for the last several months. So, Alex, thank you so much. I know he had a trip to California planned. Oh, there you are. Thanks, Alex. That's okay. I thought he might already be on the way to California, but. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would invite you to, much like my young daughter at the McDonald's on that cold December morning, to focus your attention on the sign over my shoulder. Committing to work towards positive change is good, whether it's McNuggets, a new child, or improving our community. I look forward to working with each of you to move Mesa onward and upward to another level, to the next Mesa. Thank you very much.